Hello everyone, it's Sugarbread Cat. Today we'll be redesigning Miroko's costume. This was a subscriber request, and honestly, I'm very excited to work on it. Miroko's a really cool hero, and I just think she has a really good presence in the show. She has a really good personality, and she doesn't really have a lot of the hallmarks that female My Hero Academia characters have, so it makes her stand out quite a bit. And it just makes her more memorable compared to like Midnight, Mount Lady, Lady Nagant. I think Lady Nagant is a bit more memorable than Midnight and Mount Lady, but in my opinion, Miroko's the more memorable female character from My Hero Academia, which is saying something because we have the female students of Class 1A, which we have way more time with, and that is kind of concerning that they're not as memorable as Miroko, but to each their own. I just think Miroko's cool. Now let's get on to design elements. When looking at this costume, there is one massive glaring issue, and that is the cut of the bottom of the bodysuit. There is so much potential for slips, and because Miroko fights a lot with kicks, that potential is just skyrocketed even further, and it just really makes me nervous. So if I were to wear her costume, I would put like some sort of shorts or fashion tape with it. But here's the thing. She's fighting a lot. She's running around a lot. She's going to sweat, and fashion tape is useless when covered in sweat. So realistically, the only option I see here is to give her a pair of shorts. So my challenge is to make it fit into the design and make it look good while not just being a pair of shorts she threw on under it. So I have to make this look good and a part of the whole cohesive look. I also added an extra strap and a bottom piece onto the little metal pieces Miroko has on her feet, just so that there's a little bit more support and they're more interconnected, so it's harder for them to break or fall off on her. So just like smaller things that help with keeping the costume together. For the gloves, I do like the bit where it juts out a bit, but I do want to include some colors in the rest of the costume on those, just so it feels more cohesive, because right now the gloves kind of feel like their own separate thing, just because they're white and there's not much of the other colors in the costume on there, so it just feels a little too out of place at the moment. With the collar, I really liked it. I fluffed it out just a little bit extra, but I want to keep that mainly the same just because it's cute. It kind of reminds me of like the fluffy fur of a rabbit, but also like the fluff that moths have around their neck. And honestly, I just really like seeing that on characters. So we are keeping the neck fluff. Now let's talk about the belt. I connected that just because I feel like it looks a bit better, and that's the sole reason for it. The shorts, I feel like if I put the yellow that we have on the seat and the little gold studs here and there on the costume, plus the gold lines on the belt, it helps tie it in a bit more, and it just looks more cohesive that way. I put a purple rim on the edge of the shorts just so it would match the rim on the bodysuit. With the bodysuit, I darkened the color to a more of a purplish white, just so I could see it a bit better on the white canvas, but I ended up liking it so much that I kept it, honestly. I just feel like it helps blend in with the purple of the costume a bit more, and it also lets her hair stand out compared to her costume, just because the hair, it kind of blends with the costume originally to the point that you can't really see it. So I just wanted a little bit more differentiation so you could see everything. I added some fluff onto the shorts just so you can have a more cohesive element with the neck fluff, because it is the only place where she has neck fluff in this costume. The only place with fluff. And having it in a few other places just helps with cohesion for this look. So I also added some fluff on the underside of her shoulders, just so that, again, it adds that element of cohesion. I added more of the gold studs because in the original look, it's just on the bands around the knees, so I added more of those just to give more cohesion as well, because if it was just on the bands under the knees, it just looks a little out of place, so they were added. I made the bodysuit extend fully across the legs, just so you could have the illusion more of rabbit legs, because honestly, with her skin between the legs and the purple for her stockings, it felt a little odd. It didn't really give off rabbit. It felt more like, here's some rabbit parts I attached to a bodysuit. I want to have the viewer be able to identify more of a rabbit just by looking at her and not rabbit Halloween costume, if that makes any sense. But that is it. I hope you liked the redesign. I had a really fun time with this one. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have a recommendation for a character you'd like for me to redesign, let me know. Like, comment, share, and subscribe as it helps support the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Sorry to interrupt, but I have an Etsy store. If you'd like to support the channel, you can get yourself some jewelry there. Here's the new Halloween earrings that were just dropped. The store is called Sugar Bread Studio, and it would be amazing if you could at least take a look. Here's an art piece that I made recently. It would really mean a lot if you went over to my Instagram to leave a like on it and just leave a comment. I work really hard on both my videos and my art, so it just really means a lot. And it also just helps me reach more people and get my art seen. So I would really appreciate if you did that.